Okay, let's talk about the Xbox showcase yesterday, and go over the predictions that I got right, the ones that I got wrong. It turns out I got way more wrong than right this year. But I think overall the consensus is, and I agree with it, is that the show was good but not great. I think last year was like a high mark for Xbox shows. It was probably their best show of all time. So there was no way in hell they were gonna top. Definitely not top last year, but it was gonna be a tall task to even come close to last year. So last year was probably an A plus. I think this year was like probably a B, or maybe even a C plus, C plus, B minus, somewhere around there. But like, let me quickly go through my notes while I have the thing in the background. Um, the way it started was kind of strange with the fishing from Fallout. So, and normally when they announce a new Fallout 76 update, it hasn't come out yet. But in this case, it's already out, and they were just kind of reminding you during that update. So, I had the Coalition on here. Like, I thought that was going to start the show. It didn't. No E Day is very strange, but I think it's, as we'll talk about later on, Phil hinted that it's coming next year, and I think that's a guarantee for the anniversary. But having no gameplay was very weird. No Gears 2 and 3 remaster. Like, I thought they were going to do surprise reveal of that. Um, was kind of surprised they showed Gears Reloaded, because you don't really have to show us much. We've already seen it. It's just a slightly better version of the Gears 1 remaster from 10 years ago. But we did see a bit of that. No secret bundle of all of them like I wanted. Compulsion wasn't there like I predicted. Double Fine, that was one of my predictions, was actually correct. I knew it was time. It's been like 4 years, and I guessed it was coming this year. So I should have made a bingo board this year, but I didn't. I did a few years ago. Oh, and then here in the background, I was surprised we started with Outer Worlds 2. Uh, I was like, why would we start and end with it? But we did. Halo Studios, I predicted there wouldn't be anything. I was correct. I'll leave it at the end. I was wrong about MCC coming to Switch and PS5, though. That didn't happen. Initiative, I thought there'd be gameplay of Perfect Dark. There wasn't, not even a release date. In Exile, I was right about gameplay for Clockwork Revolution, which looks amazing, and we'll get to that. I guess maybe a release date this year. No, there wasn't, not even a 2020. There was no date at all, not even a release window. Mojang wasn't there at all. I thought there'd be Minecraft Dungeons 2 or something. Oh, wait. No, they did announce there was something for, but it wasn't announced here. They reminded us that something came out regarding the movie, I think, in normal Minecraft. Um, Ninja Theory being a no-show, I was right about that. Outer Worlds 2 gameplay demo, I mean, we already knew that was happening and that it was coming, and I said it was coming this fall. I think we knew it was coming in October already, didn't we? I don't know. That's three things I got right, I think. Playground games, I was wrong about Fable gameplay. There was nothing. Um, but we know it's coming next year by what Phil says. I was wrong about Forza Horizon 6, but from what Phil said, I think that could be coming next year. Rare showing Everwild, that didn't happen again. We got more Sea of Thieves. I wrote big Sea of Thieves update. Yes, that was correct. That wasn't big, but it is another update. Turn 10 not being there, that was right. Undead Labs, I thought they were going to show gameplay of State of Decay 3. I can't believe they didn't. And I still think it's coming out next year, but nothing from that. World's Edge, I thought they would not be there, but no, we got Age of Mythology DLC, which I was surprised by. For Actibliz, I was right about Tony Hawk trailer. I was right about a tease for Black Ops 7. Okay, I got more right than I thought. A COD tease for Black Ops 7 was correct, and that it was coming this year. Nothing from Toys for Bob, I was right about that. ZeniMax, Arcane, I thought there'd be another Blade cinematic. Nothing from that. No update for my cope about Dishonored 2 getting an update. That's not happening. Id wasn't there at all. I was right about that. I thought it was too early for Dark Ages DLC, which is true. ZeniMax Online, their new project wasn't shown, but I was right about ESO, of course, because it happens every year. Machine Games, I was correct about DLC teased and coming this year. So I'm not keeping track. I'm going to have to go back and figure out how many I got right. And put the number down or something. I don't know. Oh, and then hold on. In the background, we got What was the? I don't remember what they're for. Yeah, the High on Life. Let me pause this for a second. I'm almost done with my predictions. Um, I wanted a Series X update for Wolfenstein. No BGS, no ES6. Of course, no Elder Scrolls 6. I knew that wasn't going to happen. New Fallout 76 update. I was correct. Fallout 1 and 2 coming to... No, that didn't happen. Morrowind remake. Yeah, that was pie in the sky. Fallout 3 remake is real. No, hell no. I was right about no new Starfield expansion. Correct. Not right about Steam OS coming to Xbox, although I was kind of half right because it's coming with the handheld. I don't even think I guessed about the handheld. I put combining libraries, so I was kind of half right about it. Replaced, I thought would finally get a release date. No. I thought it would be a shadow drop. Still nothing. Like, what the hell's going on with that game? Play Dead, another pie in the sky, didn't happen. Judas didn't happen. That game kind of disappeared. Old Beanox, High Moon games coming, old Marvel games coming. Nope, 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 nope. And then Studio MDHR's next game. Nope. And then I think there was a shadow drop. I just put some new shadow drop, and I think that was Final Fantasy. So that's it. I think I actually did better than I realized. But let me scrub through the show again. So High on Life 2 I was not expecting at all, especially with the drama with Justin Roiland. But I really enjoyed the first one, and this one looks even crazier. Like, he's on a skateboard, he grabs a snapping turtle that, like, shoots fire. Wait, did that... I guess I missed that. It's coming this winter. I missed that they had an actual release window. Huh. Yep. And we saw a lot of PS5 logos on here, even some Switch 2 logos. What was this? Oh, yeah, this was leaked ahead of the show. New Plague Tale prequel, apparently. I think it takes place like 10 years before the first two games. So I'm guessing whatever happens in this game causes the plague. Probably. It doesn't even look like it plays like Plague Tale at all. And I haven't gone back and finished Requiem, but I need to. But it's called Resonance: A Plague Tale. Like, why is there kids screaming outside at the park? I'm trying to record. A Plague Tale Legacy coming next year. So maybe that would make more sense if I actually finish the second game. Maybe they both die. I don't know. Don't spoil it for me in the comments if you have. This was probably the biggest surprise of the show. Asus showing off their... And this explains why Xbox delayed their own proprietary handheld. Because they teamed up with Asus, who was already working on a new ROG Ally. And I fear that it's going to be like $800 or more, though. I hope Microsoft eats the cost and tries to be competitive and makes it like $500. That's the max I would pay for it. Make it $500, and I'll buy it, and then it would be competitive with the Switch 2 and the Steam Deck and all that. So download natively, and then Sarah Bond says that you can... It won't boot up Windows. You can have like your Steam library, your Xbox library, your GOG, everything, which sounds incredible. And as someone who doesn't have a PC at the moment, I would buy that. So I'm on board. Oh yeah, we saw more of Rebel Wolves, the former Witcher people. Their vampire game looks awesome. Don't really have much to say about it except it looks awesome. Super Meat Boy 3D. I was not expecting this. I don't know if this was announced before. And I actually didn't realize we've had two or three more Super Meat Boy games since the first one. We had like an Endless Runner, or was it an Endless Runner? Or no, it was like, I think it was procedurally generated levels. But this is like finally Meat Boy after, what, the first one came out in like 2010. It's been forever. But it's finally getting like its Super Mario 64 version of it. Like when the pipe came out of the ground, people were like, wait a minute, what? And it was a troll. It's not Mario. Then I think Koei Tecmo, did they show off more Ninja Gaiden 4? Yeah. Cool, but I've not played a Ninja Gaiden game. Maybe. I kind of want to play Black and Black 2 and get into it. Here is the Indiana Jones DLC, which I expected we would see. September 4th. That's a pretty good release date for it. And then, is this the Game Freak game? This threw everyone for a loop. It was like a Souls-like, and it said Game Freak, and it's like, wait a minute, Game Freak makes other stuff besides Pokemon? And I mentioned this in the stream. What does that mean for the future of Pokemon? Does that mean Gen 10 is farther off than we think? Because And look, this looks way bigger budget than anything Pokemon's done in the past 10 years. So Xbox must have backed up the money truck for them. Is this still it? Oh no, then we got a really long, this was weird. They gave us a super long trailer for Clockwork Revolution. I think it looks amazing. It looks a lot better than what we saw last time. And you'd think with that much gameplay it would be ready. Like normally you have this kind of demo and then you drop the release date, but no. Again, like last time, it shows us all this amazing stuff and then it says in due time. So we don't even have an idea of when it's coming out. But yeah, it looks like it's full of style and it's Inexile kind of showing off that they can do more than just like Wasteland, and it looks like they're killing it. And it's got like time manipulation, like the moments in what was it Dishonored 2 had that? I think yeah, Dishonored 2 had a time manipulation moment, and then so did Titanfall 2. It looks like they're doing that, but they're doing it like on a scale that we haven't seen. They're like turning back time, rebuilding cover that you can hide behind. It's Xbox has a ton of RPGs in the works. It's kind of insane. With Outer Worlds 2 and this, and maybe Fallout 3 remaster. So this went from me being mildly interested to pretty high up on the list of Xbox projects that look awesome. All right, then what else we got? This was Matt Booty coming out talking about the partners. Talking about TV. They didn't spend too much time on it. This was shocking. He was like, Obsidian, this is the year of Obsidian. They've got 2 games in 1 year, which was already really surprising. It's like, how do these guys, like, do these guys sleep? And then he's like, oh, by the way, they have a 3rd game that's coming out this year. It's like, what? How do you guys have 3 games? They're like RGG. Those guys don't sleep either. They just constantly have games coming out. But 3 games in 1 year, although this is another early access title. It's Grounded 2, which I'm pretty excited for. I play this with my sister sometimes. Not much else to say about it. Then we got another trailer for Chronos: The New Dawn. I'm really excited for this. We've seen this several times. I think it was revealed last year. It looks like Dead Space, and as a huge Dead Space fan, and as someone who's very sad that the series is dead, again, like EA, you brought it back just to kill it again. Dead Space 1 remake is so good. It's probably the best one. But I was desperate for a Dead Space 2 remake, and EA canceled it. I don't know if there's any way they'll uncancel it. It just sucks that they didn't think this first one sold well enough. It's like, oh, you idiots. Those games are so good. I would love a 2 remake. But this looks really cool, and I think it's still coming out this year, so I'm definitely buying this. And then we had Bethesda. What did they do next? Oh, yeah, ESO. There was like 4 or 5 trailers in a row with licensed music, and I had to keep muting the stream. It's like, guys, stop doing this. You know a ton of people stream these shows. So why are you trying to screw us over? Then we had this weird-looking space game. I thought it was Directive 8020 or 8010 again from Supermassive. It's not. It's a space game that was developed by the European Space Agency, and I was kind of out when I heard that. I'm like, Europe sucks. I don't want to give them money. So, yeah, whatever. I don't know what that was. And then we had this really unique looking game that was... Wait, am I getting ahead of myself? No, this trailer was wild. It looked like it was just a hotel simulator, or not simulator, like a renovation game. And then it was like, oh, what are you really doing there? And it was like, it turned into some kind of supernatural game. And like with Lovecraftian elements. What is it called again? There Are No Ghosts in the Grand? Yeah. Looks super unique, coming to Game Pass. I think almost everything here was coming to Game Pass. Everything is Play Anywhere, so all of it's going to be playable on the ROG Ally. I really want to know the price of that. And then we got Age of Mythology Retold DLC. Wasn't expecting to see that. This game looked really cool. For a second, I thought it was Homefront 3. Because I thought this was I think it is Korea. And then it was like military. It looks like some kind of occupation. I'm like, oh my god, are they bringing back Homefront? And no, it's not. And then it looked kind of like Splinter Cell. It's basically like Korean Splinter Cell, or maybe even a little bit of SOCOM, but you're playing as a soldier, but then also like a civilian. It looks really weird, or not weird, good. The title is weird. It's called Mudang, and I just thought of the hippo. So, this somebody should edit this when it opens and it's Sam Fisher's face. Like that felt like a Splinter Cell trailer. Korea's like, you guys refuse to make, Ubisoft refuses to make a new Splinter Cell, so we'll do it. Planet of Lana 2, I played a bit of the first one. I kind of want to go back and finish it because this one looks great. The Fallout 76 fishing update, that guy looks like Owen Wilson a little bit, doesn't he? But I don't care. I can't believe this game is still kicking. I like fishing and fishing games, but I'm not going to play it. Then what was this? Wasn't this the... Yeah, this was the solo leveling mobile game getting a console release. And then the next Nintendo lawsuit, we got another game that looks like Palworld. And it actually looks even more like Pokemon than Palworld does. So, I think it's called Animo. And my joke in the stream was like, is it literally called Animu? But it's not. This... Dude, you guys are... You're flying too close to the sun on this. You're going to get Nintendo lawyers knocking on your door. So, and then Tony Hawk showed up looking really old. Like, I mean, I don't want to be rude, but I was like, damn, dude, we're all getting old if Tony Hawk is like probably 60. I don't even know how old he is. But he showed off more of Tony Hawk 3 and 4. I don't really play these games, but I have friends that do, and maybe I can get into it. But completely rebuilt from the ground up. They look amazing. And I don't think they're going to stop here. I think Activision, I know they're under new management now with Xbox, but I think, yeah, look, there's the before and after. But I think after this, they're going to do Underground and all those other games. Because there's like, wasn't there like 10 Tony Hawk games back in the day? I don't know. They can remake all of them, and they'll all sell well. Then a new game from the developer of Spiritfarer. It looks like a card game. I think it's called Hands of Fate or something. Yeah, or Fate's End. Game Pass game. And then this showed up, and I was like, ooh, Gears E-Day? No, it's Gears Reloaded. I've talked about it before, but I still was hoping for Gears 2 and 3 in a bundle. I thought they were going to put 1, 2, 3 remaster and 4 and 5 pretty much untouched together in a collection coming to everything, but that did not happen. Yeah, so it just kind of showed gameplay of... honestly, it doesn't look that... To me, it doesn't look that much better than Ultimate Edition, which this is a remaster of. A remaster of a remaster. But I'm going to play it again. I'm going to try to convince my friend who... We started Gears 1 and he was not into it. And I was like, just keep going. I think you'll like it. So it's coming to a whole new audience with PC and PS5. Because as far as I know, Gears 1's never been on PC. It was only on Xbox. So Gears 5 was, though. So the whole series was kind of missing. So, and the people that don't think they're doing 2 and 3, you're crazy. I think they're only doing 1 right now because E-Day leads directly into it, as far as we know. So I think 2 and 3 will come eventually. And then we had Persona 4, the shortest tease of all time for Persona 4 remake called Persona 4 Revival. I'm happy for my friend who's a big Persona guy. I don't personally play it, but cool. Sea of Thieves. Rare talked about their 40th anniversary. That's crazy. And new update, a new faction, it seems. And it made me pissed because I forgot about the whatever it's called, the Fortune and Glory weekend, the double XP weekend. I play that again when that happens because I don't know if they fixed it, but there may have been a little bit of an exploit I took advantage of, and me and some people would get like millions of dollars in that game. Hopefully nobody from Rare is listening. The funniest part of this trailer when it said World Effin' Premiere, and it was this Invincible fighting game. I'm not a big fighting game guy, and I've not seen Invincible, so this means nothing to me, but I'm happy for fighting fans and Invincible fans. And then, same thing here, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy, but people have been waiting years for FF7 Remake and Rebirth to come to Xbox, and then 16 was a shadow drop. It's like, it's out today. So, cool stuff there. So exclusivity continues to be dead on Sony. I think there was paid time exclusive. Here's something I predicted: Double Fine finally their new game after Psychonauts 2 is called Keeper. You play as like a friggin' sentient lighthouse. Looks neat. Tim Schafer makes some neat stuff. But then you get here and it's like honestly it felt like a lighter show than before. And if you cut out that beginning with the fishing, the show was only an hour and I think last year was 90 minutes. But oh yeah, by the way, Phil looking svelte. I don't know if you're on like Ozempic or some kind of drug or just drugs, but he looked I was like kind of shocked by how skinny he looked. Not to say that he wasn't like fat before or that he was fat before, but like I hope he's not sick. I hope he doesn't have some kind of like cancer. Like that would be sad and he's just like keeping it quiet. You never know these days. Like look what happened to Chadwick Boseman. But dude, Phil, take care of yourself. But he kind of recapped everything. And he's holding the Raw Gala. I know people were saying it seemed like a light year this year. They don't want to play all their cards at one show. Xbox shows up at Gamescom in August, so beginning of summer. It's not even summer yet, but end of summer with Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, and then Game Awards. So they have potentially 3 more chances this year alone to show off more games. So I think we could get more Gears still this year. And maybe the other stuff they have in the pipeline. They don't want to blow their load. And then it ended with... So I already made a video on this, but this was kind of a weird thing to end on, and especially being so vague. And you can't hear it, but Phil talks about next year being Xbox's 25th anniversary, and it's going to be a huge year, and it just so happens to line up with... He says next year with the anniversary there's going to be a new Forza, which is probably Forza Horizon. I don't think it's going to be a new mainline Forza. I think it'll be Horizon 6. I think Playground has another team that's been working on it for a while. And like that isn't doing Fable. There's other people doing it. I think that'll come out next year. And I think Gears E-Day will be out next year. And Fable. And then also he says, quote, an original that's been with us since the beginning. I think that's the Halo 1 remake that's been rumored. I think the UE5 Halo 1 remake will be out. So they're lining up perfectly the anniversary to have their OG franchises, Fable, Forza, Halo, Gears, which is going to be massive. It's going to be a huge year for them. And I got to sneeze. If that was indeed intentional, that's some pretty good planning on their part. But this tease was fun, and it's been fun watching reactions to this because I kind of called it immediately in my video. I call it right here. As soon as it starts, I'm like, wait a minute. I recognize this robot design. Looks like Black Ops 3 robots, or even Infinite Warfare, Ethan. And so immediately I thought Call of Duty, but there was a lot of, but then I doubted myself. I was like, is this a Remedy game? And then what really solidified it was that those were the kill streaks from Black Ops 2 and the drone. That's the drone designs. If I can get it there. These are the drone designs from Black Ops 2, the robot tanks and stuff. And some people just didn't catch on. They see all this stuff and it's like, guys, you spent hours and hours and hours, days of your lives playing Black Ops 2 and seeing those kill streaks and you didn't recognize it? And I think we were thrown off by recasting David Mason as Milo Ventimiglia. But then the part that shocked everyone and finally got us to understand, once you watch it again and know it's Call of Duty, this clues you in because it's the TVs from Black Ops 1. But then you hear freaking Menendez say David Mason, and that's when I was like, what? And then he goes, Menendez, like under his breath. And then Black Ops 7. You know what's crazy to think? Like, I remember when Black Ops 1 came out, I referred to Black Ops 1 as Call of Duty 7 because that was the 7th mainline Call of Duty. Now we have 7 in the sub-series of Black Ops alone. Isn't that wild? So Menendez still kicking. I'm going to make a separate video about how I'm concerned as hell for this game and how it's probably been rushed. I don't know. I think it's just a weak way to end. Like, it's like ending with FIFA or Madden, like a game that comes out every year. So, I don't know. I think it was a good show, not great. And then I only watched a bit of this. There was a whole direct on Outer Worlds 2, and I didn't watch much of it because I didn't play Outer Worlds 1. So, This was funny though. He made some good yucks, some good jokes. But yeah, that's kind of all we had for the Xbox show. Maybe I had my hopes set a little bit too high, but I didn't quite get half my list correct. But let me count how many things I got right. I mean, no, not Gears. Double Fine, yes, that's one. Clockwork 2. But there's little modifiers like release dates that I didn't get right. I'm not going to count that though. Shadow Drop. Oh wait, no, that's for Minecraft. No, Ninja Theory No Show 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like I got 10 things right on my prediction list when I had like probably 30. So, not a lot of. I mean, that could have been enough to make a bingo board. Oh well. I made a bingo board a couple years ago. I just didn't feel like it this year. I just wrote some notes. Maybe next year. But that'll do it. Summer Games Fest is over. Just like that, as fast as it began. One of the funnest weeks of the year for me and this channel. It always comes and goes quick, but it's fun. So, let me know what you thought of the show. Did you guys think it was? Why are they showing Grounded? Is this more than just an Outer Worlds 2 show? They're showing Grounded 2. What the hell? Oh, was and Grounded 2 direct? I didn't know that. Oh, they kept it a secret. So before they just said Outer Worlds 2 direct, and then they had to throw that in the title. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to watch that later now. Anyway, what did you guys think of the showcase? Let me know what your favorite part about it was, and I gotta get to making some other videos, including that Call of Duty video I mentioned. So, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time. Peace out.